Happy Families podcast. It's the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers now.
It can be really, really tricky at times to juggle family life because there are so many demands on us. Sometimes we actually have to take a step back from our immediate family and we have to help our extended family in different ways.
And now here's the stars of our show, my mum and dad.
I love Fridays. I just feel so good when we get to the end of the week and we know the weekend's just around the corner, and we still haven't made any progress on the camping conversation, but I really want to go this afternoon.
Is that because you're getting a dopamine hit right now?
Yep, dopamine.
Anticipation.
And, you listened really closely to yesterday's podcast, didn't you? I'm anticipating, and I'm with you, so we're bonding, and we're going to talk about how we want to do better tomorrow.
So we're getting some oxytocin?
Yeah, it's all on. Neurochemicals, follow the neurochemicals. That's how you find the happiness. By the way, we should say I'm Dr. Justin Coulson. I'm the author of 6 books about making families happier.
And I'm Kylie, sometimes known as Mrs. Happy Families, though I'm not happy all the time. I have to say that.
Today you're doing well, but it's early.
And I'm the mum to our 6 kids.
Today we're talking I'll Do Better Tomorrow. For those of you who are new to the podcast, every Friday we kind of do a review on our week. We look back at what we did well, what we didn't do, our learnings, what we can do tomorrow or next week so that we can do better in our family moving forward. Kylie, do you want to go first today?
Why not? I'm going to give us a bit of a different viewpoint today.
Oh.
We talk a lot about, I guess, our role as parents.
Yeah.
But today I thought maybe I might highlight the role of me being daughter.
Oh, you're going to talk about your parents.
I am.
Oh, gosh. Okay, here we go.
So we've had a conversation recently just about this idea of we're in a position that we never thought we'd be in. So we're parents and we've got children at home who are still very dependent on us.
Yeah.
And we've now got my parents in particular who are at a stage of their life where they actually now need some support. And so we're kind of sandwiched between our own children and my parents and trying to kind of juggle and navigate that space.
And listen, Natasha, if you're listening, you're not as exhausting as our kids. But you might be tiring Kylie out a little bit.
So my mum and dad have just recently bought a new home. They've actually built a new home. And they've had the opportunity to move in. But my mum's gone through a hip replacement just recently, and things are just moving along a lot slower than they would like and we would like. We'd love them to just be settled. So for the public holiday, for those of us Queenslanders who celebrated or commemorated Anzac Day on Monday, I let my family go off to the beach and enjoy the sun and surf. And I went off and helped my mum and dad unpack a whole heap of boxes and get their kitchen sorted out.
And can I just highlight, for the last 20 years, I've just worked my bum off to try to create this business that's called Happy Families. And just recently, we've started doing this a bit more. And for me to take the kids to the beach was bliss. It was heaven. I had such a great time. And the whole time I was there, I was thinking, Kylie's going to be having the best time ever with her parents right now. They're going to be unpacking boxes and setting up the house. Kylie must be having an even better time than me relaxing at the beach.
Yeah. I'm sure that's what you were thinking.
Is that not what happened?
You didn't even think about me once, did you? So much fun and sun and surf.
Maybe when I stopped at the bakery on the way home, I thought
serotonin.
Yeah, that's right. All that relaxation.
I think I was maybe getting a little bit of oxytocin. I'm not sure.
Did your mum hug you?
Yes, she did.
Okay, some oxytocin.
It can be really, really tricky at times to juggle family life because there are so many demands on us, and sometimes we actually have to take a step back from our immediate family and we have to help our extended family in different ways. And while I would have loved to have been at the beach, I was so grateful that not only were you able to be supportive in that and spend time with the kids, but that I was able to actually go and spend time with them and help them to do things that are just getting a little bit beyond them.
Yeah, that's really nice. And it's also really challenging. Any family who's going through it knows exactly what it's like. You kind of never think that you're really going to get there, and all of a sudden your parents need your help, and you're kind of like, but we're still trying to get ourselves sorted out, and we've got the kids that need our help, and it gets really tough. But isn't it great that you were able to do that? Up next, I'm going to tell you what I learned about how to do things better tomorrow, and it is a really big conversation. Can't wait to share it.
It's the Happy Families podcast.
Are screens creating tension at home? Tweens, Teens and Screens is a webinar to guide families to healthy, safe super screen solutions. Buy it today at happyfamilies.com.au/shop.
It's the Happy Families podcast, the podcast for the time poor parent who just wants answers now. And today we are talking about our reflections on our journey as parents this week.
Now, before I dive into my story, I need to highlight that my story does contain some mature themes. While not rated explicit, the content might not be suitable for younger listeners.
I know where we're headed with this one.
Well, I'm in the car. So this is just after last week's I'll Do Better Tomorrow. I'm in the car with our 17-year-old, and out of nowhere she says, "Hey, Dad, can I talk to you a bit about pornography?"
Oh.
And I'm like, how many dads are out there who have a 17-year-old girl who wants to have this conversation, actually asks for it? I'm like, sure thing. But she was driving. She's got her learner's license, and we were in peak hour traffic. It was Friday afternoon, chaos on the freeway, and we only had to go about 8 minutes. And I was like, can we do this tomorrow night? I just don't think that trying to have a conversation that's this important in this kind of situation where I'm trying to supervise you driving
not kill us both.
It's not going to work. And she was like, yeah, sure thing. And then I said to her, hey, how do you feel about me inviting your other sisters to be involved, the 18-year-old and the nearly 14-year-old? And she's like, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, amazing, winning already. So when we got home, I chatted with the 14-year-old, never got to catch up with the 18-year-old. Her social life is so busy, we just didn't get there. And the 14-year-old was like, yeah, I'm in. And so the next night, we set up the little brazier, the little fire in our outdoor fireplacey kind of area, got some kindling, threw a couple of big logs on, grabbed some marshmallows, and you and I sat down with our nearly 14-year-old and our 17-year-old, and literally, I just said to them, so what is it about pornography that you want to talk about? We talked for, I reckon, 45 minutes about everything that they had questions about. And at no point was there any discomfort or anything like that. It was just this really great conversation. The best part, the thing that I love most about this, you know where this is going, is that as we were wrapping up, like we probably had 5 minutes to go, and Ella's boyfriend walked up the driveway with his best mate. They decided to swing by at like 8:30 at night for a visit. They've walked past us. We called them up to the fireplace. They've sat down and ready to grab a marshmallow and start toasting marshmallows and join the conversation. And I've looked at both of them and said, so guys, we're just in the middle of a conversation about pornography right now. Would you like to join us, or would you rather wait down on the driveway till we're finished?
So can I just ask you, what did you think they were going to say? They really didn't have a choice, did they? They were really...
I don't know that they had much choice at all, but I was giving them a choice. It's not like I was forcing them to sit there.
They've come to Dr. Justin Coulson's house and he's asked them if they want to have a conversation about pornography.
But they sat down and they actually chimed in.
They did.
Asked them a couple of questions. They were happy to share. And what they shared was revealing and concerning for any parent of 17-year-old boys. These are good kids, and it was great to have their involvement. And I think the coolest thing was that they got to be part of a conversation where they saw our concern for our daughter's well-being. I think that it helps them to see things differently because of that conversation. And at the end of the conversation, we just excused ourselves. The kids stayed outside and sat by the fire, and who knows what they talked about.
I do believe it kind of went a little bit different to that. I think that I actually forcibly removed you from the circle.
Yeah, okay. So I was happy to keep on talking till midnight if they wanted to. But anyway, in terms of our take-home message, number one, it's hard to be a parent when you're sandwiched between the kids that you're raising and the parents that you're trying to look after as they move into a new phase of their lives. But if we're willing to pause, take the time and invest and support each other, it can be really important, really valuable. And the take-home message from my conversation is ask your kids to have these conversations and then make the time and make it matter. Crank up the fireplace, pull out the marshmallows, grab a hot chocolate, go and buy a milkshake and go for a walk in the park, because these conversations end up being some of the most rewarding conversations that you can have.
Well, I think that the one thing that stands out to me as you were sharing that is that so often these kind of conversations can feel a little bit daunting for us as parents if we've never had to have them firstly. And our kids kind of feel like it's a bit weird talking to our mum and dad because like they don't know anything sometimes. And being able to do it in that space of relaxed, backyard, starry-skied night just meant that there was an opportunity to have these difficult conversations without the uncomfortability of just staring each other in the face in the bedroom or whatever.
Yeah, great stuff. Hey, we hope that you have a wonderful weekend. I don't like my chances of going camping, but I'm going to keep on pushing for the rest of the day and see what happens. We'll tell you about it next week if it does work out. The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media, and our executive producer is the superstar Craig Bruce. We love it when you leave feedback about the podcast, as Lydia Ninny Lee from Canada did, a 5-star rating. So thankful for this podcast. Thank you for the podcast. I've learned so much. This is where I go to when I'm feeling down and lonely on parenting and need a reminder and a right mindset. Hopefully this is helping your mindset as well with your kids, helping you to build better connections and do better tomorrow. If you'd like more information about making your family happier, or more information about our soon-to-commence Little People Big Feelings Summit, you can get all the info you need at happyfamilies.com.au.